I am also one of the Study Abroad Peer Advisors in the International Center, and I went to Alicante, Spain. All right, so I'm a senior here studying International Business Finance, so I chose the Alicante program so I could keep learning the Spanish language and be immersed in the culture. So Alicante is on the southeast coast of Spain, and it was the opportunity of a lifetime, and this is in the castle in Alicante on the top, and this was my first week in there. And then I am originally from an hour north of Chicago, so study abroad is not just an easy step that you can take. As you can see, I was thousands and thousands of miles from home. But once you take that big step, it's so worth it, and I hope my pictures show you how awesome study abroad experience is. Again, bear with the pauses. Luckily, I had an awesome group of students to study abroad with. So I studied abroad with 15 other Mizzou students and 4 students from Illinois College. And in this picture, we were practically strangers. And now, when we see each other on campus or when we hang out with each other, we pretend that we're still there and try and still live in that Spanish culture. So with my program, I also was in a homestay. And this is my host mom, Christina. She was a hardcore feminist and wanted to talk politics every single night at dinner or even lunch. So it's just something that I had to adapt to, living with a stranger and being in someone else's home, but also making it mine for the next 5 months I was there. She was also an awesome cook, and this was just an average lunch for just the 2 of us every single day. And in Spain, when you're served something on your plate, you're expected to eat what was served to you. So I was not prepared to eat my heart out while I was there the first couple weeks, but she eventually got me into her lifestyle as well. Also, Europe does not believe in elevators. They're not very common there. And these were the stairs that I had to climb every single day to get to my apartment. So again, adjusting to a new lifestyle was different at first, but you got used to it, and maybe you wanted to go home a little less if you had to deal with this every single day. And then if something wasn't in walking distance, it was really easy for us to use public transportation. So this is a tram in Alicante, and we were able to go a few hours along the coast and see all these different cities. So it was a really wonderful experience. At first, it's a little scary to get on there by yourself, but it's worth it to see the places that you can go with the public transportation. Also, if you're about to go to a country and live there for a semester, definitely take advantage. You chose that program for a reason. So I was luckily able to travel a lot of different regions of Spain. And one of my grade school friends was in Granada, so I got to go to the western side of Spain for a weekend and experience what she was going through with her program. Also, taking advantage of all the random moments and things that you'll run across. So a few of my friends and I, we were in Barcelona just exploring and not being afraid to get lost in the city. And this is what we came across, was this beautiful view, so just take advantage of those moments when you're there. Also, coming from a double major at Mizzou, going to a study abroad program, I had a little more free time than I was expecting. Luckily, I was able to walk to the beach every single day, and this is what I got to do on my free time. It's very weird going from a really heavy work course to that. And also Europe, they do not split checks. So this is one day a group of us were out to lunch, and this is how we paid for it. The waiter was not happy with us, but this was our only way we could do it with all of us putting in our fair share. So we did get creative here and made it work, but just make sure you have the money that you need for that. I also ran into a ton of awesome people along my study abroad trip. This is an artist in Portugal who was painting with coffee. So we stopped and were chit-chatting with him, and he shared a story with us of how he ended up doing this as an art and why he was in Portugal. So it's really cool to experience other people's stories. Also, Spain had so many festivals to be a part of, and this was one of the best ones we were able to join in on. Carnival, it's a mix between Mardi Gras and Halloween, so we all got to dress up and run around with the locals in town and enjoying this crazy festival that they have. And then, like I said, explore the country that you're in, but also if you have the free time to go elsewhere, try and see a few other countries if you can. I had family friends in northern Italy, and they took me to wine country one day, and it was just very relaxing to get out of your normal routine that you started in your new home and starting a new one. So I also had 2 weeks off for spring break, so I did get a lot of traveling done in that time. And this is one of the first stops in Cinque Terre in Italy. It's on the western coast. And I always wanted to take this picture. I did my research before I went, and I finally got it. And this was taken from my camera. So it's really cool when you get to do that on your own. Also, don't have too high of expectations if you sign up for something. This is the Keukenhof Festival, which is a tulip festival right outside of Amsterdam. And as you can see, it's not really in bloom when we went, and we were expecting it to be filled with a bunch of tulips and colors, but we still had a blast there. And also, I am part Czechoslovakian, so I really wanted to go to Prague and explore my family history and what I knew about my mom's side of the family. So I chose to go to Prague over my spring break, and it was really cool to see my mom's maiden name everywhere and just get to see what I grew up with in the household as well. And then also, I was exploring Europe to see where I would want to move back to when I'm older. And Vienna, Austria was one of my favorite places, and it was a very peaceful town, very quiet, and a lot of sightseeing where you didn't have to pay for too much. So this was just walking around one day in Vienna, and it was beautiful, as you can see there. And also, I really got out of my comfort zone when I studied abroad. Never in a billion years would I have climbed this mountain on my hands and knees to get up there, and let alone stand on that rock and take this picture, but the view is worth it, and I wish I was back there right now. But just get out of your comfort zone when you're there. And then lastly, you will make a new home there, so keep that close to your heart. This was one of the last pictures I took before I left to come back home to Chicago and start an internship. So just take advantage of a new place that you get to explore. So that is all.